everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you've had a beautiful last few weeks of May, and welcome to the first week of summer. Well, kind of my summer, because I'm a mom. I hope that you guys are all doing incredibly well. I hope you guys took all the trades we went over on May, what it was, that 17th, 18th chart time, and I am excited to show you again what we've accomplished today. So first, obviously, I have to go here and do our disclaimer that says these classes are recorded for future education and trading purposes, although this I'm just recording in advance, so there's none of that to worry about. But yes, nothing I say is to be considered legal, financial, or investing advice. This is a high-risk industry. It's also a high-reward industry, but obviously, you're going to have to make that decision for yourself. If you're liking the content here, if you're catching any of the pips, if you're finding any level of comfort or just stability in your trading by watching these videos, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and all that good jazz that helps the YouTube algorithms, be what they are going to be. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go to the charts and take a look at what we did in less than 20 minutes of time, approximately 2 weeks ago. Okay, so on May 17th, I'm doing these classes approximately it's the first and third Tuesday of the month, where I come live either in a classroom format or I just do a 20-minute video looking for some trade ideas using the Simplicity system. This system is meant for your kind of novice trader, your beginner, your newbie, however you want to put that, your super green person, the person who may not know what candles are, may not know a lot about trading and pips and Forex and the whole nine. And they're just looking for a way to make some money, right? Really, really simple. They're trying to get their feet wet. This system works amazingly. It is not perfect, but here's the deal. In 20 minutes time, we literally got over $12,000 worth of profit in 20 minutes of time. We looked at 4 possible entries. Of course, we reviewed the previous week's trades, and then we looked at the 4 new entries. All 4 of them won. No, not every week are you going to have 100% accuracy. That's not possible. It's not plausible or possible. However, some weeks it is. So we're going to start by going over the trades we looked at then, which is our trade reviews. All 4 of those that of course, you can zoom in on this recording. Hopefully it comes up in the recording here. If not, you can find it. It's a public video that was done on May 17th, US time specifically. And go look, we did this live. And then of course, I've got a couple trades that I want to look at today with you guys, and then I'm going to let you go. I hope that you are actually taking these possibly in your demo account. You're considering doing them. If you're using live, use a micro lot size, by all means, do a baby lot size, but start to use this information for your betterment, right? Start to use this to help you create the freedom that you're looking to create. So first things first, what was that, May 17th, we had 4 trades. Australian USD was one of them. We were looking for a buy at the fractal break, right? So if we can look at the very bottom of my screen, I'm going to have to make it kind of ugly and zoom out. Look at the bottom of the screen there. You're looking for May 17th, which technically chart time is about May 18th. May 18th, about 1:30 chart time. So let's go look for that exactly. Working on it. Takes a minute because, there's always a lag, especially when you're zooming. Somewhere in and around here, right? We don't need to be exact. You guys get the idea. We were looking for a buy at the break of that fractal. This pair particularly moved over 256-ish pips. That's stinking beautiful. Look how perfectly that played out. Very minimal drawdown, not a whole bunch of nonsense. We had our buy simplicity signal. We were waiting for the break in the continuation. We knew where we were taking it, and we discussed it on that call. So that was a beautiful trade, played out well. We're going to take that off of our watch list. Next, we have USD Chef. On this one, we're looking for a sell at the break of that fractal. So we're going to look for the proper candle. So we're looking for 518, approximately 2 o'clock. You can see that at the bottom of my screen. It's about here. That's where we're looking, just to kind of give you an idea. This is about 404 pips. I actually only got 390 on this one particularly. It's what I have written down of what I closed out at. But needless to say, that's 390, 400-ish pips of sheer profit. So even if you're waiting for the break of this section, you're still looking at 370, 380. If you took it on the pullback and the retest of the 50, which I do believe we discussed on that call, it is recorded, you have a beautiful, beautiful entry. You have a perfect entry with even more pips to capitalize on. So again, that trade played out perfectly. We looked at that 2 weeks ago. Next, we've got EuroCAD, which actually has played out twice perfectly if you already have the system. The system is brought to you by Super EZ Forex. That link is in my chat. It's in my link tray, I'm pretty sure. You guys can go take a look at them. They're doing some pretty cool things as well. Let's see. Here we go. Looking around and around here. Again, we're waiting for the break of this. And in this case, that fractal would have been a little bit later. So here we go. Total of about 270-ish pips. Definitely not a bad way to be. This is Euro CAD, 270-ish pips on the table. Beautiful possible trade idea. I hope that you guys caught this. Had you got it from here at the breakout, you've got a better entry. We even talked about taking re-entries along the way or taking them after retests. You guys have so much potential here live for free on YouTube. Don't sleep on this information. Please, please, please be utilizing it. Start to make the profit, start to make the difference. So you know the criteria we're looking for. We're going to talk about that when we go over our next couple of trades for this coming couple of weeks. But before we do, last but not least, let's go to NZD CAD. We were looking for a buy at the break of the fractal. So we're going to go look for the date. The only reason I'm taking the time to do this is so you guys, how do you say, build up that belief bone, right? Build up the whole, wait a minute, if this silly girl can get this right, there's no reason I can't, right? If this girl right here can do that, there's no reason I can't. So yes, we're waiting for the break of the fractal. That happens over here. You can either use a pending order. Of course, you can wait till after a pullback. There's a lot of different ways to do it. Ultimately, it's up to you. But this is approximately where you would have entered. You would have ended up with approximately 192 pips. Not a bad way to be at all. I caught the pullback because of how I traded and the confirmations I used. I got a total of 230 on this particular trade, but still, overall, great trade. Not even a lot of drawdown. All very, you don't even need to know all the stuff you don't know. So in total, had you used one standard lot size in that 20-minute analysis, one standard lot size on all of these pairs that we looked at was over 1,251 pips. Let me say that one more time. 1,251 pips. I don't see pips like that unless it's an index. Like pips like that on an index, way easy. Pips like that on a crypto, way easy. Pips like that in Forex in 20 minutes of time, no stress, no issue, no complaint, no a whole bunch of chart time, nothing. That's insane. So from there, using a standard lot size, you're looking at approximately $12,000. $12,000 if you're subtracting all the fees from withdrawals and deposits and cryptos and the whole nine and swaps and stuff, and you subtract all of that, you're still looking at greater than $10,000, $11,000, $12,000 in profit in approximately 20 minutes of your time. So yes, I need to harp on that for just a second because what we're doing is making a difference. So if you're watching this video and you're kind of like hesitant to jump on board, by all means, don't listen to me. Like take these trades that are live on YouTube, just give it a couple of months, follow the rules that we're kind of creating and setting together and see how you do. You don't have to spend any real money with me, with anybody else. I don't even have anything to spend money on anyways, but try this. Take these trade ideas, download a demo account from the link tree that is in my bio. You can download a free demo account. You can paper trade and just start playing with some of the ideas that we go over twice a month on this YouTube channel. Now that I'm done harping on things, let's look at the trades that we have potentially setting up. First thing I'm going to say, last week was NFP and we're coming into summer. So expect the volume to start to decrease a little bit in theory. You'll notice that this is starting to go down. Every pair, the volume is going to go down a little bit because there's less money in the market. The bigger players are not here playing. So maybe start planning on smaller targets, maybe start planning on tighter management, maybe start planning on, a slightly different style of trading, if you will. Now, having said that, we're going to start with GBP USD. I am going to zoom out and make this kind of ugly. First off, you can see we've got a big old enormous simplicity arrow here. I'm going to scroll out, make it very ugly, and take a look. We had our nice impulse. We've corrected a little bit. I want to see a bit, maybe more of a correction, but overall, I'm still very bullish on this pair. Now, nowhere in there does that mean we don't have room for a pullback. We totally do. We definitely do. So for me and for mine, since my analysis is based off of a bigger picture, and I'm going to go up a time frame to show you, I'm looking to retest this big void here personally. So we got our impulse. We're correcting now. I'm looking for this to come all the way back up to here. So from where price is currently at right now, where that gray line is, all the way up to fill this void, I'm looking at about 300-400 pips, right? Not a bad way to be at all. Now, granted, this is going to take time to play out. This might not even close between now and the next time we do a live simplicity video. but for the sake of conversation, I desperately wanted you to know that. So what I'm looking for here, zoomed out from where price is currently at, you're going to be taking a buy, or considering a buy, I should say, at the break of that fractal. And I can zoom in so you can actually see the fractal. But again, that's about 300-400 pips is what you're looking at for your target. You're definitely going to be protecting within 50 pips. I typically say 1 or 2 ATR on the 1 hour time frame, 1 ATR for sure. But with this pair, I would be looking more toward that 50 pip mark. Once you're in profit by 50 pips, you always protect. And when I say protect, I mean A, you're applying a trailing stop. B, if you have, for example, a standard lot size on there, you're going to trim some of that off, which means close a portion of it and protect that bag. C, you're going to move your stop loss into profit and let the rest run. Any of those are viable. Of course, you can use manual management, automatic management. You have a plethora of options, but ultimately, when you are 50 pips in profit from the time of entry, make sure that you're protecting at least some of your trade. Now I'm going to zoom in. You guys can see where that fractal's at. You're waiting for a break of that fractal. Of course, you can decide to take the retest. That's totally okay too. Where's your stop loss going to go? For me, I better zoom back out actually. Again, my analysis is based off of a much, much bigger time frame. If my computer would catch up with my mouse. Maybe, baby. Hold on. It's just not working. Let's try a different approach. Zoom out, zoom in. There we go. My analysis is based off of kind of a bigger time frame. So you can have it very far away. That's probably too far, right? However, you have this really ugly doji and this really ugly wick. My stop loss is pretty far away. Now you might find some spots in between here. I don't believe they're really there personally. You have a couple of areas to choose from, but for the most part, my stop loss is here with room. You can of course put it here at the most recent level of a fractal, but that even is a bit kind of tight. So for you and your account, I'd be maybe looking somewhere around here plus room for ATR spring. But other than that, that's where my stop loss is going to go in terms of this trade. Typically, I'm almost always using structure. No, I can't talk. That's number one. Next, I don't know why they're out of order, but is XRP. I, in the groups that I'm in, posted that I was looking for some buys on cryptos, and I took them and I scalped them and I used some really cool management tactics, really just kind of a boatload of trades. I don't even way more than I care to admit out loud, but a boatload of trades, literally like in 10 minutes, just playing around with some of these cryptocurrencies in a 3-day period. With that said, I am kind of bullish still. Notice we have our buy signal. We have retested previous area. We've retested where price broke out, which is also retested where price broke out. And this buy is still overall valid. So then our impulse, we made a higher high. We're retesting now. So with the way this, how can I say this? With the way crypto is and the way it's valued, remember broker to broker, it's going to be a little bit different. However, I would be looking at an entry even now. Notice how we've got our impulse. We're retesting where price broke out before, which is over here. I wouldn't even be afraid to wait for like a smaller time frame confirmation. I will say I don't want the buy 130 pips away. So I don't want to wait till the break of that fractal. Now you obviously can, and if I zoom out, you'll see that that still gives you plenty of room. You definitely have that option to do so. But for me and how I want to trade, let's see, this is a good 1,000-ish pips. I don't want to give up 10% of my profit on that. So totally up to you on how you get this entry. First choice is you can wait to the break of that fractal. My choice is to go to a smaller time frame and just wait for a bounce of the 50. And what that's going to look like is this. So 5-minute time frame. Right now we're breaking below the 50. I wouldn't mind this kind of bouncing down to where price broke out before and then looking for my buy. If it is confirmed and sets up, I know what I'm doing. If it doesn't set up, I lost nothing anyways, right? That's what I'd be looking for. But yes, overall, I'm looking for the buy on Ripple, the break. Oopsie, why did I hit X? Let me hit Y. Well, W. Now it's on my watch list. So buy on Ripple. Next, DVP on. 1 hour time frame. We've got a beautiful simplicity signal here. We know where our management's going to go. We can wait to the break of the fractal. Again, that's a little farther away than I want it to be. It's a good 60-ish pips. I'm literally just taking it up to where price broke out before. That's approximately 259 pips away from where we're currently at. Your stop loss should be at structure. Structure is going to be however you define it. Notice there's a huge wick, huge slippage here, like spring that try to knock everybody out before it takes off. I absolutely love this trade. I think it's a great trade setup. I would even say buy at this exact price point where we're currently at. So on this one, I'm going to say buy at now. I don't want you to wait to the fractal. I don't want the stop loss to be as big when we've got enough confirmation to say, hey, we've got some room. Remember, you're going to be protecting within 50 pips. Your stop loss should be at structure, 50 pips, and or of course you can use ATR for those of you guys who know that. And you're going for at least that 250-ish pip mark. Very high probability trade. So put that on our watch list, and now we know what we're doing there. GBP CAD is next. Notice there are 3 GBP pairs, and you can't take all of them. So you might want to consider, hey, which one of these do I like best? Which one of these most aligns with my trade analysis? Which one of these has the most room to run? Which one of these has the best risk to reward management? And then pick those 2. But don't consider all 3. That's too much per pair. That's too much of an ask. So same kind of concept. We've got a simplicity trade here. We broke out. We're retesting. I wouldn't mind even buying exactly where we're currently at. Taking price up to where price broke out before, you're still looking for about 250 to 300-ish pips. Great risk to reward on this pair. Super clean setup, super easy to kind of manage trade. Not a lot of nuances or complexities to consider. So yes, I'd be looking for the buy now, not even at the fractal. You can wait till the fractal, but buy now is what I'd be looking at doing. Stop loss is at structure for me, which is here. Of course, you can have it a little bit tighter, but I don't like my stop loss so tight. I like to give things room to breathe and not choke them out, right? Everybody wants a tight stop loss, but what good is a tight stop loss if it makes you lose 70% of your trades or 40% of your trades or 50% of your trades? I think that's a dumb way to be, but that's just, wait, I should not say that, especially on YouTube where it's going to get super condemned. So I don't think it's the best way to be for me. There are a lot of people who are uber successful, even using tight stop losses. It's, they have a trading plan and a trading strategy in place that makes that a practical and profitable approach for them. It's just not my peaceful and profitable approach for me. So now that I tried to, cover my butt on that one, last trade actually is an exotic. We haven't looked at an exotic in quite a while. So I'm going to zoom out. First off, we've got our buy signal on simplicity. Remember, that's brought to you by Super EZ. We've got our buy signal. We edged up, made a slightly higher high. We really just retested the structure. We really haven't went anywhere yet. We came back down to form a double bottom. Now we're kind of sitting here. So for this one particularly, I would be waiting for the break of the fractal. So buying at the break of the fractal is what I'm doing here. So buy at the fractal. And what that means is, you can set a pending alert. So you can set an alert or you can set a pending buy stop. Either one will work just fine. I'm kind of more in alignment with kind of the alert more than the buy stop. If I'm not super familiar and comfortable with that pair, the pip values, the playstation, and the management. If I am super comfortable with that pair, that instrument, the management, I will do buy orders all day long. I will do limit orders, stop orders all day long. So that's at least my approach, I should say. Same kind of concept. You're protecting within, 1 or 2 ATR for sure, without a doubt. Your stop losses at structure. On this one, I'd give it a little bit more room, seeing as how we've got some longer term consolidation, right? We've got a potential little flag pattern happening here. So for that reason, I'm going to give this one a little bit more room. I'm definitely not going to be choking it with the most recent fractal. Probably looking closer to here, which is, what is that? 1,400 pips away. Feels like a lot, but I promise you, this is not worth very much in terms of pip value. So in theory, it shouldn't break your bank to about 2,000 pips away. However, for that same kind of risk and reward, I'm going to have the potential of looking for it to come up here first. That's already a 1.25 to 1 risk reward. Ultimately, I'm looking to bring that trade all the way up to here, which is approximately $20.25 is my target for approximately 6,800 pips. Not a bad way to be. If you want to see what that looks like, risk to reward rise. If I could talk, I sure do have a lisp today. Added that to my watch list. I'm going to hit buy. My cool tool over here. I'm going to minimize my currency strength indicator. I'm going to show you what this looks like risk to reward wise. Let's see if I can talk. I've been talking all day though. We had multiple 3-4 hour meetings, quick meetings, phone calls with friends, family in town, and now this is my last one of the day. So wish me luck on my broken English, but here we go. Dragging my stop loss down to kind of where structure is. This will show us some really cool information. I'm risking 5% if I use this lot size, 1.17, on the account size that this demo account has. If my take profit is in and around here where price broke out, I'm still getting, I wish I had more information, working on it, a 4.37 to 1 risk reward ratio. I know exactly what I'm profiting at the end of this. It's still a very good trade. That's a 4 to 1, 4 to 1 risk reward. So definitely a great trade to consider. Again, even if you're not comfortable, even if you hardly know what Forex is, but maybe you just found me by accident, totally cool. Tell your friends, help me grow my YouTube here, help me touch more lives and teach them some of the things that I do know and I am good at here. But also maybe consider, don't spend money, not on me, not on anybody else, not with a coach. Instead, go to the link tree, pick a couple of those accounts, sign up for a broker account, a demo account. That means paper trading. Come to these calls on the first and third Tuesday of every month. And if you do nothing else, just start practicing. You can literally just take these trade ideas. You can hit buy and sell, put your stop loss, drag and drop your stop losses and your take profits approximately where we're setting. Check back every so often to either apply a trailing stop or protect it when you're in profit, and let these things run. You're talking maybe an hour or so a month worth of time, and see what you can have happen. Because, for example, in the month of May, we did 2 calls. We got a total of approximately a little shy of 2,000 pips, which doesn't seem like much, but that's $18,000 in like an hour. $18,000 with 1 standard lot size. And remember, you can have like 100 standard lot sizes. Most people start with a 0.01, so that's still, you're looking at, what is that, 50 or $500, give or take, in an hour though. In an hour of your time last month with the smallest possible lot size. No, that's not $500. That's like $200. Sorry. $200 on the very tiniest possible lot size is what that equals. $200 on the tiniest possible lot size, approximately, because now these pairs don't all equal the same exact amount. As you can see, the pip value on this is way, way less than, say, the pip value on this. Pip value on this is $10 per pip. So there are some variables there. Let's just call a spade, but still, you get the idea. With that said, I hope that you're finding this content useful. I hope that you have a beautiful week. Happy first couple of weeks of June and summer. And I will be back in 2 weeks and go from there.